All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of All Wrestling Madness presents the Annihilation Lounge, the first video one right here on YouTube. I'm joined here with my guest, Sean, who runs my second channel, All Wrestling Madness 2, which for the most part is all about stocks. Is that right?
We got stocks, a lot of tech reviews.
Well, speaking of reviews, this is not an ordinary wrestling episode. This one we are going to be talking a lot about Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you haven't seen it yet, feel free to stop the video right now and go see it whenever you can. But if you have seen it, stick with us. We're just giving you our own review on our own experience seeing Spider-Man No Way Home. So when you saw it, what did you think from the beginning? Like, just seeing guys like Toby and Andrew coming back into the universe.
Oh man, well first I saw Andrew come in and I really thought they weren't going to bring back Toby. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You just brought Andrew in? I mean, I get it, but...
And what about all those leaks when Andrew, for the most part, has been saying, oh, those are just photoshopped. And to find out that the actual leaked video was unedited version of him being on the skyscraper by the Statue of Liberty. Like, when I saw that, I thought, okay, he obviously was lying because he wanted it to be like the biggest reveal ever. But you obviously could tell at the same time that it wasn't photoshopped. It was just a live take of the set. Because when I saw Andrew on that skyscraper in that supposed photoshopped video, I thought, wait, he's got to be lying. I mean, you saw the video clip, didn't you?
From the skyscraper?
Well, the one that he had with Jimmy Fallon, or it was Jimmy Kimmel, one of them, where he claimed, oh no, Jimmy, it was just a Photoshop. You've seen that like quick video clip, or all the other ones where he was with Google trying to talk about. What are you doing?
I'm looking it up right now. What is it called?
You can look it up. I think it's Jimmy Fallon and Andrew Garfield talk about Spider-Man. It's like literally that, like him on a video clip, not a video clip, like a webcam, talking to Jimmy, and he's saying basically how, oh no, I know what you're talking about, but it's photoshopped, Jimmy. Like, it's not real.
Oh, it's like him on the Empire State Building?
Because it's him, what it ends up being in the actual final take of the movie is that it's him, Toby, and Tom talking about basically how Toby's able to produce his own webbing, unlike the rest of them, which have to use gadgets to produce their webbing. And it's just like a small little scene, but you know that scene from Jimmy Fallon, or it was Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know the exact Jimmy that it was.
One of the Jimmys.
One of them. But more or less, that's what it was. And moving on from that, let's go right to the beginning of the movie, to be more exact. In the beginning, the very beginning, it starts out where the last one left off, where Spider-Man's on top of the light post watching the J. Jonah Jameson speaking about how he's really Peter Parker under the mask. And the whole crowd is turning on them because they think Peter killed Mysterio. Which, let me stop for a second. Let me ask you a question.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Spider-Man really killed Mysterio? Because when you saw the second movie, and he was given the glasses, you have to be given permission to use the gadgets associated with the glasses. Because in that movie, Far From Home, he gave permission to Mysterio to use the glasses. But when Mysterio gave him back the glasses, he never said, oh, I'm transferring the rights to Spider-Man or to Peter Parker. He never said that. So did he really ever actually kill Mysterio? Or is Mysterio somewhere out there in the dark abyss hiding and plotting his next revenge?
I don't know. Have to wait and see.
I mean, like I said, the way they filmed it was that you have to be given permission to use the glasses. You can't just randomly wear the glasses and tell it what to do. You have to be given authorization and permission. At least that's what Peter Parker did for Quentin Beck in the second movie, he gave him permission. You can't just take it upon yourself to use the glasses. Otherwise, anybody out there on the street could have ripped the glasses from him and used it. But I'm just going a little above myself. But Sean, let me hear your opinion. What do you think? Either Far From Home or No Way Home, what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts just about the villains?
About the villains?
Like, do you have any favorite villains from any of the franchises? Whether that's Andrew's or Toby's.
Oh, Toby's for sure. Doc Ock.
Okay. And
He's got a cool little thing going.
I mean, seriously, like, what do you think? My opinion is that Doc Ock was built to be the ultimate good guy. But my thing is this. You're supposed to have villains in this movie, right? Well, going forward with that, why include Sandman?
It's a good question. It was kind of strange seeing him because, I don't know, he just seemed like he was more leaning toward good guy, but...
Exactly, I mean...
And then at the end, he's like, switches up, and then...
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, the way we left him last in Toby's movie was that Sandman was an ultimate good guy. He had remorse for killing Ben. He felt like shit. He felt horrible for killing Uncle Ben. But yet, you throw him in this movie and call him a villain? Like, there's no point. Like, the last time we saw him, he was a remorseful good guy. He hated himself for killing Uncle Ben. He apologized to Peter like 10 million times.
He played the good guy, the bad guy, like, once in that whole movie.
In which one? Toby's?
No, the newest
Oh,
one.
No Way Home.
He does, like, one bad thing, and then he goes back to doing what he, back to being good.
Yeah. But still, like, why even include him? Like, and then not only that, but let's just name all the villains we did have. We had Doc Ock, the first one. Then we had the Green Goblin. Then we had Electro, a new version, same actor, Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx, I like his character.
But what did you think of his introduction into the world, into the multiverse world?
You're gonna have to recap me.
What I mean by that is, he couldn't find him. Like, he was in the middle of electric field, like where there's high tensions.
Oh, yes, okay. So he's up in the air in the electric field. Yeah, that was cool.
But I'm just saying, like, and then he's saying, "Oh, I love this new world." Like, do you think he was supposed to be like the main villain right along? Because what was being spread and rumored right along was that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin was supposed to be the main focal point, like the main villain.
I think, I don't know, I feel like he could have been swayed to doing the right thing, and he eventually was, but...
But now, knowing Norman Osborn, excuse me. Knowing Norman Osborn being a good guy, but yet the internal, I guess you can call it DID, dissociative identity disorder, creature being Green Goblin, what do you think of Norman Osborn? Like, do you think he truly is the good-hearted person that they painted him to be, but yet the Green Goblin was the villain within himself?
Yeah. That's what they were trying to put out, I think. Seems like out of nowhere he just flipped a switch and... Because
when we first see him, after the bridge scene, when he's the Green Goblin, the first time we see Norman Osborn, it's like he's fighting an internal fight within himself, and he's trying to break through. Almost, I'm going to use some of the words, some of the terminologies that were used in the movie Split or Glass. It's almost like the Green Goblin was trying to take the Horde, which is also known as the light, the main focal point in the brain. He was trying to break through and be the main voice. But Norman kept shutting him down. Norman had more power within himself until a certain point when he couldn't fight it much longer and he just couldn't take it. Then it ended up being that Spider-Man had to trap, not Spider-Man, Doctor Strange had to trap him. But now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
There's rumors going around, and there's theories, and I love Marvel theories. I love Marvel theories. Who do you think is truly, and this is just an opinion, there's no facts, because Kevin Feige, or Feige, however you want to pronounce it, he has never yet confirmed the true outcome. Who do you think is really responsible for the multiverse breaking apart? Do you think it was Spider-Man? Do you think it was Loki? Who do you think it was?
That's a good question. I'm up in the air. I have no idea.
My opinion is that it's possibly a combo, because I'm thinking right as Sylvie from the Disney Marvel show Loki, right as she killed King the Conqueror, right as she did that, the split second she stabbed him, was probably the same moment that Peter Parker interrupted Doctor Strange's spell, and they both simultaneously at the same time broke the multiverse. And going into that, there's a show on Disney Plus called What If, and it deals with different scenarios like what if this, what if that, hence the name.
Yeah.
And there's one episode where it deals with Doctor Strange versus himself, versus an evil version of himself. As I call it, the mirror dimension version of himself.
Definitely could be, yeah.
The first post-credit scene, in my opinion, excuse the language on this show, was bullshit. I call it bullshit because how could you involve Tom Hardy's Venom into this world if you're just going to remove him before he's ever in the movie itself? Cause
why wasn't he in this movie?
I don't know, because
this new movie.
The way I looked at it, at the end of Venom, Let There Be Carnage, they played it off like he was going to be a main focal point.
Shouldn't he have been?
Because he licked the screen in the hotel and said, I want to find him. So then, you go the whole 2.5, maybe 2 hours and 45-minute movie of Spider-Man. Roll the credits. Mid-credits, have that scene of him at the bar. No Venom, just Tom Hardy. I mean, you hear Venom's voice, but you don't see Venom. And then just transfer them back into their own world. There are rumors going around, Sean, that supposedly he wasn't put back into his own world. That he's now a part of Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man world because they're going to make a third one.
So, it's been a long time since I've even watched the Spider-Mans. On the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, what happens at the end with Venom? Like, does he become... Does he just get killed?
Which world?
Tobey Maguire's
Tobey Maguire. He gets vaporized.
Oh, he gets
because
vaporized.
Tobey locks him in between bars because Venom's number one weakness is loud, like high-frequency ringing.
Yes, I think I remember
and
that
then
part.
he had one of Norman Osborn's pumpkin bombs. And he goes to throw it in, but Eddie Brock jumps inside of Venom right before he explodes. So he kills both Eddie Brock and Venom.
I noticed, again, more on like a emotional aspect with the villains. They're kind of getting more in touch with them, trying to help them, stuff like that. Do they end up getting to this emotional aspect with Venom at the end, or does he just get vaporized?
I think they just get vaporized, in my opinion. I think Brock and Venom both get vaporized, in my opinion. But more or less, it's just that, though. It's like the end. And it wasn't even... That's what destroyed... I'm going to give you a clue. That's what destroyed Tobey Maguire's franchise of Spider-Man. Because he would have been the first Spider-Man of its kind to originally have 4 movies. But Sony, and I love Sony decided to butt their heads and put their 2 cents into it. Because the way I see it is that Sam Raimi it's not that he didn't understand the complexity of the character of Venom. So when he made his version of Spider-Man 3, he wanted it to just be like maybe 2 villains tops. It was going to be, I think, Mysterio and like a montage scene of doing several crimes and getting arrested by Spider-Man, whatever. And then it was going to be like the main villain was going to be Electro. Electro was finally going to be introduced, I think. So don't 100% take what I'm saying for certain, but know that what I'm saying is 100% true as far as Sam didn't understand the complexity of Venom, and he didn't want to bring Venom in until he read the comics and started understanding the complexity of Venom. Because Venom's the reason why Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire's one, tanked. It was Venom's fault. And it wasn't really all Venom's fault. It was more because Venom's just a character. He's just a comic book character, more or less, in real life. But it was really Sony's fault. Sony decided to put their 2 cents in and said, Sam, we don't care. We want Venom. The crowd wants Venom. They want Venom.
Okay, so off topic a little bit. Toby, so they may have wanted the 4th Spider-Man, but you got to think about this. He was 32 in the third one.
Yes.
He's supposed to play a 17, 18-year-old.
Not at that point.
Maybe 16.
Not at that
maybe
point.
16.
At that point, he was supposed to be already in college, out of high school. By the end of the second one, he was already out of high school. He was already an adult.
Yeah, I mean, 32 years old. But Tom Holland mentions that he's going to be getting out before 30. He's putting out like 5 films.
Speaking of Tom Holland, speaking of him, he said that the only way he would ever do a 4th Spider-Man is if it finally introduced Miles Morales. If it finally did that, he'd do it.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to be in his mid-30s still being called Spider-Man. He doesn't want to be typecasted as Spider-Man. That's why what you're seeing him do now is movies like Uncharted, based off of the PlayStation Sony video game, is that he's trying to branch out more beyond Spider-Man. He doesn't want to be typecasted and be considered only Spider-Man.
I'm sure it's going to be a good movie, too.
But, more or less on what you were saying, Toby was what, 32?
Yeah, 32 in the
he
third
didn't
movie.
want to do it much longer himself, but he also didn't care if he did it much longer.
You hear about his back issues, too?
That was due to one of the movies he did on the side of Spider-Man 2, I think. Like, right after he was done filming Part 2, he was doing another movie. He got hurt on set.
Yeah.
So, in Part 3, when you heard him complain about his back, that was, like, improvised. I don't even think that was written into the script. I think that was literally Toby complaining of his back pain.
Now, there's Easter eggs on the new movie. You saw that he touched his back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I said, because he injured his back years ago. This was like maybe 10 or 12 years ago. Maybe longer, maybe shorter. But he injured his back like within like the 10, 15-year mark.
All the old actors, they're still looking pretty good. They're in good shape.
Oh, I know.
Still, they look the same.
I know.
Even Doc Ock, I was like, they really brought him back. He looks.
But that's also because of
better than
the.
he
That's also
did.
because of the magic of special effects. They're able to nowadays, within reason.
Well, you saw Will Smith.
Oh
right?
yeah.
In that one video, that was crazy.
Because they're able to, within reason, de-age you and make you look a little bit younger.
There's a whole movie with Will Smith, and they de-age him to, well, you know, they put down his age to like 15 or something.
Really, they made him look like a teenager?
Yeah.
Almost like the Fresh Prince era?
Shoot, yeah, it looks the same.
Oh my god, I never saw that.
Oh man, you gotta watch it. It's like an action film, and he versus himself.
Oh,
like he's
I know
shooting
what you're
at
talking
himself.
about. I think I know the movie you're talking about. Gemini. Man.
Yeah. I watched that at work one day.
Yeah, Gemini
lunch.
was a Will Smith movie that they did
Gemini.
where he played himself and a second character who was like maybe like 15 to 18 years old.
Yeah, he's like half his age.
And they de-aged him to look as best as they could like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air 90s era Will Smith. Like that's what they de-aged him like.
Oh, they got him spot on though.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'd show you, but oh man.
But yeah, one last thing about Spider-Man, and this is an opinion question for you, and that is basically, what do you think? Like I know we just talked about this. I know we're probably rambling on, but I want to know your opinion. Do you think it was right to throw Venom into this movie just to remove him and not include him in the movie itself?
They gotta put him in. He's a cool character. He's one of my favorite. I don't. Is he in the originals?
He's
No,
only
right?
in the Tobey Maguire one, the one that was played
he's
by
in-
Topher Grace from that '70s show.
Oh, so they brought him back.
But the one that really matters, in my opinion, is Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy's the best version of Venom there is. Like, no offense to Topher Grace, he's a decent actor. He's done all he could on that '70s show, in my opinion. And yes, I do know he's done other things but that. But in my opinion, as far as Marvel superhero movies, I don't think he played the right Venom. I don't think he did. In my opinion, Eddie Brock is Tom Hardy. Like, that's the way I look at it. Is Tom Hardy played the best version of Venom.
He's funny too.
I mean, you go around the table, you say which one's the best Peter Parker, which one's the best Spider-Man. Andrew, Toby, and Tom, and everyone that I've talked to at least, says Toby's the best Peter Parker, Andrew's the best Spider-Man, and Tom is the best combination of both. But I say this, Toby's the best Spider-Man, Andrew is the best Peter Parker, and the combo still goes to Tom Holland.
I mean,
What's yours?
he's got Emma Stone, right? Andrew.
Oh yeah, but
So-
not at the end of the second movie. She dies
Oh yeah. He mentions that too.
because him saving MJ, Zendaya's character in this one, was like his redemption at saving someone. Because in his movie, in his world, he accidentally killed Emma Stone's character. Because when he finally was able to catch her with his web, he snapped her neck by accident. And it wasn't that he did it, it was the fact of just free falling.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird because you know the person is and plus he was supposed to be depicted as an older character than
True.
him, than Tom Holland. So it just it felt a little weird. Like you're going after the high school kid, but she's not really in high school. She's 20 plus.
Yeah. But we're going to wrap it up short right now. Let us all know down in the comments below what you all thought of this episode. I know it's probably not what you expected for a movie review show right off the bat, but it's a start. I'm going to start doing these more often. He's still going to do some of his stock videos and computer build videos on the side on All Wrestling Madness 2. So check that out. Subscribe and click the bell icon so that you get notified every single time that we drop videos. Do that to All Wrestling Madness 2 and do it also to All Wrestling Madness right here on YouTube so that you, like I just said, can get notified every single time we drop a video of some sort. Talk to you all in the next one.